Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 50 of Waxian Poetics 100 Days, 100 Poems of What's Next. Hope you're having a fine Wednesday. I decided instead of doing a new poem for today that switched up a little bit, and at the last minute, I'm going to do a brief reading featuring some of the poems that have already appeared on the project. So I'll take about 15 minutes to do that for you, hopefully provide you a little bit of entertainment, and give you a chance to hear some of the things that you've been reading over the past 50 days, 49 days technically. So without any further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and launch right into it. And I'm actually going to start with the first poem of the project. Camel heard shouting in Black Lives Matter Plaza, Northwest. 1/20/2021. That palindrome date to be read forwards and backwards with hope that we only move forwards and not back, hindsight showing us 2020. 1/20/2021. Attention at the left margin, like a paladin, ready for the good fight that lies ahead against the right, lucky because we read left to right, though our metaphor moves will be to the left, our direction, progress, our speed on hurry. 1/2/0/2/0/2/1. As a prescription number, that palliative first pill in a 1,460 dose regimen of anti-Trumpiotics and anti-Naziotics and anti-conspiriotics. One pill every 24 hours keeps regression away, and day by day the sick body politic becomes healthy and stronger. 1/20/2021. Palladium poised to lift us up step by step, stepping us up to new heights and new hopes and new horizons. We are here, ready to work and build and change, and we will get louder and stronger. 2021. Palatable and palpable to the rest of the world. One dash of change, hints of new perspective, and seeing is believing. Chew on that possibility. 1/20/2021. The palimpsest. We cannot erase the scar scratches and errors, the wrong words, the wrongs and the wounds, the falsehoods and fakeries, the forgeries and fripperies, but we will scribe anew tales of redemption and reconstruction, resurrection and resolution, resolve and resuscitation, part once upon a time, part on this day in history. And that, of course, was the opening poem for the 100 Days, 100 Poems project, which was the date of Biden's inauguration. And we're going to move right along to the next poem. This one is actually one of my favorites that has appeared on the project so far. And it's important to keep this in mind as we begin the Derek Chauvin trial in Wisconsin. Derek Chauvin, the cop who murdered George Floyd on video in plain sight, kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes. This one is called Common Contributors to the Breathing Problems of the Average American. It is asthma. It is emphysema. It is COPD. It is COPs. It is the stench of GOP hypocrisy. It is a high life of smoking. It is an era of burning brush. It is a lifetime of burning bridges and smoking enemies. It is the noxious haze of racism. It is asbestos and ozone and mustard gas. It is clouds of overcooked coal and toxic rivers of white fragility. It is the fetid fog of the undrained swamp. It is buses and trucks and traffic jams. It is planes, trains, and autoerotic asphyxiation. It is vehicular and respiratory congestion with congestion prices to pay. It is oleoresin capsicum. It is mace and capsaicin. It is the foul fumes of the rotting corpses of their story. It is the broom of brutality, the corrupt cop pollution. It is chlorobenzylidine malonitrile. It is the smoke and smog of privilege. It is the murk must of injustice for just us. It is the pea soup of oppression. It is the noose. It is the knee. It is the nation. And that was a poem that appeared on day 14 of 100 Days, 100 Poems. I'm going to skip back a minute and go to a poem that appeared on day 10 called After It All Implodes. After it all implodes, and the debris litters the psyche and the sight, and the shit stains have stained skin and scarred skull, and disclosed truth, fog dense, weighs the air in between, and the inside thoughts outed shout too clearly across rooftops and rest stops, pastures and plots, and lumps formed from swung fists that had connected too solidly with nose tips, and the stench of burned flags and standards and burned bridges and tunnels permeates the garbs and the get-ups and the guise of each and every one. Grab a rag and a broom and dustpan. Grab soap and gauze and bandages. Get paint and spackle. Get hammer and nail. Roll up sleeves, protect your face, glove your hands. The sun's coming up, and there is backbreaking work to be done. Vexing, vital, overdue work. Again, that was a poem that appeared on day 10 of the project. And then in preparing for today's quick little reading, I actually discovered that there was a poem that appeared twice in the 100 days so far for 100 days, 100 poems. So I owe you, the reader and now the listener, a new poem that'll appear sometime in the next couple of weeks. But this one is called Unlearning the Lessons We've Learned, and it appeared on day 23 and also again on day 31, so some 8 days apart. Maybe it's one of the lessons I should learn is to pay attention. Unlearning the lessons we've learned. When the masks come off, stretch your lips up and out. Remember that the seats of the R and the F are not sofa soft and not for spreading or lounging. At your first happy hour, lock eyes at the clink of glasses, hoist your arm high. Your huzzah must be higher. Hugs, handshakes should be firm and warm. Allow them to linger as long as needed. Buy a normal amount of toilet paper. Take a slice to go. Take two. Take a whole pie. Browse for books. The TBR most certainly needs reinforcements after such an assault. Buy tickets to the show your friend adored. See the midnight screening of the premiere long delayed. Race the grand staircase. Pant and wheeze as if you're as out of shape as the peasants in the pastoral you passed, as you lingered to catch your breath before the first canvas that caught your eye, speaking to you in an ancient tongue. And, if hope beyond hope, you have match made or swiped correctly, when your hands meet halfway across the table, avoiding wine glasses and tapas plates, relish the first fingertip to fingertip freeze in your new moment. So, something that hopefully captures a little bit of hope post-pandemic, post-lockdown, post everything that we experienced in the last year. Hope you and your family are safe and well, and that you're vaccinated, and keep wearing your mask, keep social distancing, keep washing your hands. We've just got a couple more months to go, and I think we'll be good to go. On Valentine's Day, which was actually day 26 of the 100 Days, 100 Poems project, we had this poem. I'm going to skip around a little bit just because I'm trying to keep it a little fresh, a little exciting, a little different. This one was called This is Likely One of Those Occam's Razor Occasions. When you ask me, would it be better to be in love than write about being in love? As in, have her palm cup my bare knee just for balance during a park bench kiss, or write about the way a fingertip slips in sweat drips as they curl cues at the small of her back. As in, hearing her tender everythings, murmured millimeters from auricle and tragus, curving into the cochlea, drum beating, her breath as loud as hot summer breezes. Or scribbling the onomatopoeics, stenographic nightmare, that transcription of intimate, insistent intransigences, a wheeze, a gasp, a whistle, a vibrato oh, staccato ah, fortissimo. As in, I might as well be Cyrano precision, capturing and remembering the orange blossom and honey in her hair, the tea tree oil, tingling nostrils, and enticing erotic essences, or nose notes in a wine journal that never logged a single swirled scent, but instead her creams of lavender and lemongrass, hints of mint, and a whiff of wet flesh, fresh rain, as in the palate discerning butterscotch, or the coconut toasted on inner thigh, the buttery nuttiness of the nape of the neck, the plump lychee sweetness of parted lips, or the tasting notes in that same journal, as if descriptions of Burgundian wines, stone fruit confusions, peach jam, apricot nectar, golden plum juices dripping down chin and forearm, teeth and tongue a tingle, as in subway car crowd glimpse, eye cast across a theater, street crossing scan, seeing her 2 seats down at the sushi bar, alabaster skin and abalone melting in my peripheral, omakase for the eyes. Or the description read, eyes brown and wide as cinnamon, hair as black as Philosopher King's ink spilled down the naked back of her backless dress, skin as smooth as hope. I ask you, how can any of it be real? And so that was from day 26, which was Valentine's Day. We're going to skip back and go to day 25 of the 100 Days, 100 Poems project. This one was called The Evolution of the Chant. I actually retitled it The De-Evolution Revolution of the Chant. Started so simple, yes, we can. Translating hope and a change into action. Si se puede. Translating American dreams into Dhaka dreams, or is it the other way around? Dreams, a long night's journey into broad daylight with work to be done, no choice but to be fired up, ready to go. And the go, go, go got up and went. And so those shouts were drowned out by drain the swamp and lock her up, until Foggy Bottom got turned turvy-topsy, with the monkey running the circus, monkey whose spinning and spinning failed to build the wall and lock her up. And meanwhile, in non-white America, the bubbling brew is reaching boiling point, long heating and percolating and churning, steam murder on the lungs that still somehow shout, I can't breathe. And everywhere, in exasperation and fear, hands up, and in exasperation and fear, don't shoot, and still, I can't breathe. And between wheeze and knees and choked hopes, there is a rumble and roar of Black Lives Matter. And when they ask, they say his name, and when they forget, they say her name. And Black Lives Matter gets louder as they counter all, or worse, white, which worsens into 4 more years, and we respond, no justice, no peace, and 4 more years, and no racist police, and Black Lives Matter, so we vote. Because yes, we can, and they try to stop that with the Stop the Steal, and there is no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, because there is no stealing, no rhyming, and they get to steal, looking to bring out Pence so they can hang Mike Pence after they take the building, trying to fight for Trump, and the chants seem to be drowned out by window smashing and certification crashing, and above the den and after the den, we add lock him up. And our inner voice reminds us, I am somebody. Our outer voice rouses, we can do more. We will do more. And with our outer voice and inner voice combined, it is the boost we need. Yes, we can. Si se puede. That was from day 25 of 100 Days, 100 Poems. This next poem comes from day 33. And it's called, I think it appeared on the project as The Cacophony Subsides. While the Capitol Rotunda echoes the new beeps of metal detectors and the gavel cracks of failure to convict, he quietly goes about the work of governing. While pundits screech their latest fabricated insinuations and newsreaders shout their weightiest insinuated fabrications, his pen opens all volunteers to volunteer to serve openly. He quietly goes about the work of governing. Returning to accords and allies and agendas, reprising briefings and readouts and pressers, he has traded chaos and commotion and clamor in order to quietly go about the work of governing. Returning to accords and allies and agendas, consulting in private with parents in need, away from the cameras and spotlight, away from the hubbub and town hall activity, he quietly goes about the work of governing. And over the cancerous rants of alt-right radio, no more silent, with one less cad about over the drum and strang of hypocritical opposition, he quietly goes about the work of governing. And when the Lone Star State, frozen in its unregulated splendor, makes its call for socialistic savior, he quietly goes about the work of governing. And when the windbags wag the dog, scandalizing about the presidential nature of domesticated canines, rescued or not, and stay mum about purebred snowflakes abandoned in heatless and waterless abodes, while owners seek warmer southern climes, he quietly goes about the work of governing. And when the windmills wind still, and when the pipelines pipe nothing, and the water that trickles can't be boiled, he quietly goes about the work of governing. And amidst national theme songs and anthemic chants, behind the announcements for departure and the ouches announcing vaccine jabs, without the headlines trumpeting his name and the groans and moans and signs of exasperation and fatigue and bewildered wonder, he quietly goes about the work of governing. And just a couple of poems left. Try to keep this at about 15 minutes or so. This next one came on day 28, I believe. So again, switching around a little bit, but this one was a fun one to write. It's called The Collective States of America. An aurora of gaslighting, a clan of cops, an array of blue states, a caravan of kids in cages, a rout of step forward, two leaps back, a flink of fevers, fires, and fright-mongering, a cloud of undetermined direction, a grist of history, a bed of same-sexed theocrats, a peep of hope, a murder of senators. A parliament of funky relics and rituals, a lounge of spineless pachyderms, a fever of racists, a waddle of ranch-addicted snackers, a sneak of rule and norm-breaking, a sneak of dishonor, a parcel of postal delays, a bank of capitalists, a Durante of Taco Tuesdays, a flutter of better angels, a bazaar of guns, a muddle of historical revision, a loveliness of protests, a prickle of power-mad octogenarians, a consortium of big and bigger businesses, a barrel of youthful exuberance, a smack of five-fingered open palm reality, a gaggle of journalists, a puddle of fear of the enfranchised and informed, a crackle of pundits, screeching and screaming, a shiver of voting booths, a romp of national parks and the Capitol, a skulk of red states, a cling of white racist power structures, a leap of progressive values, a pitying of those cleaving to the what was and what never was, or things that can never be. And I'll just do three more poems. This one appeared because on day 36, this appeared on day 36, and it was because a poet that was very influential for me and inspirational for me um, died recently, Lawrence Ferlinghetti. And so this poem appeared in honor of him. This is called Making the Love Scene, after Lawrence Ferlinghetti. You slamming the door is a beautiful place to be born into if you don't mind some people dying all the time. A smack of arrival. I hear squeak of Nike on linoleum, accented by the rain outside. It's hard to pull myself off the couch, my butt lazily glued there during the rainy day. I do. To glue my lips on your face before you set down your bags. Close your eyes while my tongue dances on your tongue. Your lips. My eyes close because, oh, the world is a beautiful place to be born into, if you don't much mind a few dead minds in the higher places. Your feel is a memory of my taste. And open. Your skin smells of peppermint. That's odd. I never knew your tongue to be so sharp, nor your lips to be so open. Your mouth seems hollow. Your eyes don't follow mine as they dance from the nape of your neck to your breast. No bra? Your nipples erect, a deep brown I don't know. Your neck tastes like candy. Take hold of my hand to the places I should know. I feel your left breast for the first time, the white, wet shirt a tease. I don't know this panting, the heave that matches the pinch. Your hair breathes herbal essences. I thought you used Pantene. What happened to the cinnamon that used to dance on your exhale? The honey that used to drip from your thighs? It's all peppermint and creme. It's all liqueur and chocolate. I don't remember the joint of your legs. Wasn't it smoother? Take my hand. Do you know it? Put it where I can remember, not between your legs or at the sweat that tingles between your breasts, but at the curve of your ear, or the slope of your navel. Take my hand. Teach me. I have never known you. And the final two poems uh, we'll be reading today. We recently, of course, passed 500,000 dead from the coronavirus here in the US. So this one's called By the Number. By the time you read this, the shimmer and shake of ancient light from the Fornax dwarf galaxy will have shimmied its way across almost 500,000 light years. A squiggle unseen that echoed the first doodle, a bored Homo erectus, name and occupation unknown, etched on a shell at around the same time, 500,000 years ago. That would place archaic him, or archaic her, the doodling habits of Homo erectus far beyond the knowledge of this poet, squarely in the Pleistocene epoch, of the Quaternary period, of the Cenozoic era, only slightly predating our current Holocene epoch, where we have seen the invention of the wheel, and fire, and saddles, and stirrups, and aeroplanes, and electric cars, and the departure and arrival of lunar modules, and the one-way journeys of Cassini, and Voyagers the First and Second, and Juno, and New Horizons seeking same. But this digression has zigged too far. 500,000 hours is about 57 years, and 500,000 seconds is about 139 hours. And 500,000 is the TV screen snow plastered graphic across the front page of the New York Times. And 500K air miles is enough to brag about rewards in your wallet. And $500,000 is a terrible NBA salary, but suits the MLB, minimally. And 500,000 is $500,000. And $500,000 is a song by the Shins. And of that $500,000 things you're supposed to be, dead is not one of them. And that poem appeared during a project on day 35. And this last one appeared on day 43. It's a short one called Dare Mighty Things. Dare mighty things, like, say, sending a probe some 139 million miles away, and add some coded message to the parachute of that probe, decipherable as it billows and spreads in the foreign winds of the war god's world. Chase with perseverance the triumphs of a vaccine and arm, first and second dose that keeps you out of hospital beds, or the victories of putting away folded laundry, or filing the papers piled under the desk, of hanging the final framed photo in a house now made plainly a home. Fear not the failures of losing at checkers, or losing car keys and good pens, of losing the plot in a story written as you glide along, of losing a big business deal, or losing a big sports competition, or some other such inflated task. Poor spirits may soothe the suffering segues that stretch between twilight and dawn. Flasks of rich whiskies may commemorate the joys in finishing a drafted novel or a degree from the universe's hard knocks. Dare mighty things. Crack the code. Kiss him. Call her. Help them. Defund the police. Prosecute the offenders. Hurry up. Seek justice. People over profits. Change over comfort. Slow down. Stop. Just stop. The glory and the joy are scattered along the surface, the dust and rocks and craters of always to be remembered victories and defeats. The world may never see them, but the world never need know. And that was the poem Dare Mighty Things that appeared on day 43 of the 100 Days 100 Poems project. So thanks so much for tuning in and sticking with us as we read some of these poems. Stay tuned. We've got another 50 days to go for 100 Days, 100 Poems. And if you'd like to participate, please submit your words, your art, your pictures, your paintings. You write music, submit. Just participate. We'd love to get your voice out there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day.